How's it going, everybody? This is Mike here. What I'm going to do today is show you how to take apart these Honda and Acura B series transmissions. What we have here on the left is a LS long gear transmission, and we have a B18 Type R short gear LSD transmission. This one, customer says the third gear goes in but pops out, and so I'm just going to take the case off. I'm going to inspect the synchros, the gears, and the sides. And on this one, I'm going to do the same. Take the case off, inspect everything. So I just want to show you guys how to take them apart, inspect them, what it looks like inside when you take the case off. And that's pretty much it. First, what you want to do is take all the bolts off around this case. So you'll have a bunch of 12mm bolts. You'll take those all off. And also, on the bottom here, you'll take these off. This is where the spring and the detent spring and the ball sit. You want to take those out. That way when you slide the case off, it doesn't, because it'll kind of hold it on. It won't let you pop it off. So we're going to take those off. On the top here, you have a plug. Right here, you have a plug. You want to take that off because there's a snap ring inside here, so you can take the case off. So you want to go around the case and take all the 12mm bolts off. On the bottom here, I'm going to remove these two bolts for the detent springs. When you pull this out, there'll be a spring in there and there's a ball that sits in there. You want to get the ball out also. And on this transmission, these springs, they'll be the same on each side. But sometimes when you're building a transmission, the springs will be different lengths. You want to make sure you put it back in the same spot it went. There's a ball and the ball. Alright, so what you want to do next is get you a pry bar or a flathead and go around, and there's a spot here, already done it. Pop it up a little bit. On the back side, you can hammer it up just a little bit. And there's a snap ring inside here. You want to open the snap ring, that way you can pull the case straight up. It helps if you have the right pliers. I don't have them here at the house. Let's open them up. Alright, pull it up, give it a little wiggle. Okay, one step I forgot is you need to take this bolt out. This is what holds the reverse in, the reverse gear. After that, you'll be able to pull straight up. Yeah, that bolt goes in here, holds that in. So. Okay, once you have the case off, this is what it will look like. This is the gear set. What you have here is this bottom one. This will be your first gear, your reverse, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, and then your fifth gear here. What this customer said was this one was not going in fifth gear or reverse. And the first thing I see is right here. See how rounded off those teeth are. That's a dead giveaway that that's not right. So that'll definitely need to be replaced if they want to use this. Also, let's see. I saw, okay, here, these teeth, these synchros have some marks on them. So right here, you want these to be pretty much like rooftops. And also on the back side, what I found that there was a piece of metal in here. So I don't know if it was, I'm not sure what it was from. It fell down in there. I'm gonna have to get it out once I get it off. But yeah, again, this will be your first gear, your reverse, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear. And what I'm gonna do, take the this is your shift assembly right here. What I'll do is just, you pull this out and you can take this off. That way you can move your these up and down. You can move the synchro and the slides up and down. But yeah, that's a dead giveaway that number 5 was bad. So, and reverse, probably the same way. Like I said, I'd have to take everything. I'm gonna take these whole gear sets out of the transmission in just a second and inspect it a little better. But as you can see, all the metal shavings in there. All that dirty stuff in the case too. Yeah, so something was definitely going on. Yeah. That right there. Dead giveaway. So. I'm going to take the gear sets out and inspect it. And you can see here, look at this, I just noticed this too. This bearing right here is cracked. So I'm not sure if someone has rebuilt this before. I think he said whoever he bought it from ran through it, but that's not the case. Or if they ran through it, they didn't fix anything. So this is just an LS transmission right here. What we're probably going to do is just use the case from it, because this case on the Type R transmission is bad. What we're focused on is fixing the Type R transmission. So I was just inspecting this one and seeing what was wrong with it, and we're just going to use the case since the studs are still good. But now I'm going to just I'm going to remove the case off of this one and inspect this one also. I believe this one said third gear went in but popped out. So now I'm going to remove the case off of this Type R transmission here. Hopefully the bolts aren't too tight. I'm going to stick them in the same bucket because all the bolts are the same. Okay. On the bottom of the transmission, take out these 212 for the D10 springs. Two here. Put those in there. There's two balls inside there you want to remove. And if you can, break the case apart like that. Alright, get it broken apart. On the top here there will be a clip, C-clip. And usually these pliers aren't the right pliers. The pliers you want to use are when you push the plier in, the tops of them go out. But I don't have those. So just pull it apart. Hold it apart. Hold it apart. And pull your case up. And what you do is pull straight up. That fluid is, look at that. We've already got metal pieces inside here. So it's already not looking good. I already see synchros messed up. The slide is definitely. So on this one, what we have here, how I showed you the synchros earlier on the other one. Look how sharp these are. They're broken in half almost. These should be, they should look pretty much like this right here. These brass pieces, these gold pieces should look like this, but look how thin they are and jagged. That's definitely not right. And you can see this will be your slide. This is your slide. If you look down in there, the slide is all chewed up also. See if you can get a good look at that. All chewed up. And that will be, okay, your first gear is down here. Your reverse. Your second, your third, your fourth, and your fifth. So this will be your third synchro right here. Third and fourth. Gone. And again, I saw this right here, this piece of metal. So this transmission definitely got some issues also. You can tell by, look at that fluid. And look at that. I mean, this is a magnetic. On the bottom of your transmission, you have a magnet little. Look at that. Whole bunch of metal. No good. So what I'm going to do is the same thing. I'm going to remove your shift assembly here, and then I'm going to remove I'm going to take the whole gear set out and inspect all the synchros and the slides. But right there, that right there, you can tell is bad for sure. And that was the complaint, third gear. So I had to figure out where all these metal shavings are coming from. Something's broken off for sure. Yeah, those are metal pieces. Yeah, so anyways, that's how you remove the cases. And just to show you one more time, for people that don't know, this would be your differential here. Your differential, the ring gear here. Okay, so you have first gear, reverse, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear. And these mesh in together. Both fifth gear, both fourth gear, third gear, second gear, reverse, first. So hopefully this transmission, I mean, I can, it's in bad shape, but I can definitely get it rebuilt and running better. I mean, running good like it was before, because we definitely want to use this. This is the Type R transmission here. This is for the customer. We have a LSV tech, so we definitely don't want to use the LS train. It's not good for all motor application. So we're gonna get this taken apart. We're gonna get it inspected, and I'm gonna let the customer know what all he needs to rebuild this thing back to fresh. Okay, so what I'm going to do is remove this shifter assembly, the shift mechanism. That way I can get this off of there. That way I can pull the gear set all the way up. This is held on by 3 10mm bolts. Okay. And one bolt is different than the other ones, and it goes here. I'm going to put it here in the pan. Okay, so this is what that looks like. Just put it inside there. And these, they come straight up. I just take these bolts out for this reverse, and you pull everything up as a whole. The gear set along with the. Look at that, that's done. Okay, so what you want to do is pull it straight up. I'm going to stand up for this. Move this up there. Okay, so here you have your main shaft and your counter shaft with the gear sets on there. What I saw first is, you check this out. Look at this bearing right here. So this bearing definitely needs to be replaced. It is completely broken. That's where these metal shavings probably came from, and these balls are missing. So that's one part that is definitely bad. So we'll need a bearing, and you can inspect this here. What you want to look for, you want to look to see if there's any teeth that are broken on the gears. So this 5th and 4th gear looks fine up here. And you want to check the 3rd and 4th, which looks like there's no broken teeth. And your reverse is always going to be a straight cut gear. That's why it makes the noise when you're in reverse. It sounds louder. And the 1st looks fine also. But what you can do is move. This is the slide on the reverse. The reverse and the slide are built in together. So what you want to check for are these synchros here. Should look fine. And you want to make sure they look like little rooftops, little houses. So they all look fine. You go down and check these. And see, I see some wear on these right here, on these teeth. And this is the 3rd gear. No, I'm sorry, this is the 2nd. So I would recommend replacing the 2nd gear. And it goes in fine, but if it was mine, I would replace it, so I'm going to recommend it. Just put that there. And this is just trash. You can already see. Definitely going to recommend the slide for the 3rd and 4th. I mean, you can just tell these are just shredded. You can see they're just shredded. So again, inspect. You want to inspect the gears, make sure there's none missing, no teeth missing. I see some wear on these teeth also. But yeah, I mean, look at this. This is why it would probably go in 3rd and just straight pop right back out. So that is no good. Can't even get it back up. There you go. And look at that. This is the spring. The spring for the synchro spring. So this is actually supposed to slide down further in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write it up. I'm going to write everything it needs. And go from there. As you can see, we've inspected the inside of it. The synchro and the hub and the slide is definitely bad for the 3rd. I'm going to recommend a couple other gears just to make it perfect. This bearing here. And we'll go from there. Give you a close-up look. I don't know if the camera got it earlier. But these here are just shredded. I mean, I'm sure, I mean, it could be worse, but it's definitely no good. there, inside of here. I mean, this whole set right here just needs to be replaced. See, that's what the synchro should look like. You know, not ate up or anything. So I'm gonna write up everything it needs and go from there. This LS tranny, I mean, I can take it apart later, but really just wanted to take it apart, inspect it. We're gonna use the case from that one and put it on here once we're assembling it back together. But yeah, look at that. That's crazy. So this transmission definitely took some abuse. It was used. We used it on the swap for a little bit, and then yeah, third gear started acting up. So